You've been a fan of Squires ever since Podrick the Long, if you know you know, inserted himself into our hearts in Game of Thrones. And if the Squire is plucky, well... all the better. But you have not played this game, and you want to know if you should. And even better, if you should prioritize it amidst all the other games in your backlog. This week, we swing and slash with purpose and panache in the Plucky Squire, the 2024 title from All Possible Futures, which is the abstract idea referencing the infinite cosmos beyond our comprehension. Just kidding, you fool! All Possible Futures is actually a new studio co-founded by two industry vets, one of whom previously worked on art for Pokemon games, and the other at Devolver Digital. The Plucky Squire is the studio's debut title, and is a very ambitious debut in some ways, and not so much in others. But overall, I liked it. It's not going to be for everyone though, because its highest aim, as I see it, is to create a piece of interactive digital storybook art with a secondary aim of creating a video game. At least that's the way I saw it. And since so much effort was focused on the Plucky Squire's aesthetic and so much care was poured into its story and its writing, certain trade-offs had to be made. Deals cut in the back of alleys, under the table in a dimly lit restaurant. I'm not a crook. You know, shit like that. Specifically, the combat is what suffers the most. Indeed, it suffers from a disease I like to call genericitis. It's extremely mediocre Zelda isometric dungeon crawler hack and slash that's honestly not very fun to play at all. And sadly, it's kind of a huge portion of the game. They really stuff that combat down your throat like Podrick stuffed that down ad goddamn nauseum, to the point where I was rolling my eyes so hard it looked like I was having a seizure one night when my wife walked in and she had to rush me to the hospital. But seriously, I got really sick of the combat encounters in this game. Had they been dialed back, I would have been more okay with it, but with how prominently these mechanics feature, it loses the game some points for me. Another problem was how often I was interrupted with dialogue. I enjoyed the narrator and the artwork as the story unfolded, and there's actually a lot of really funny kid-friendly humor in this game, but you are interrupted with dialogue at every single turn. Every time you turn a page, every time you hit a puzzle section, every time you run into a group of enemies, every time you find a locked door, and then afterwards when you unlock the door. It's a lot. And it got to be quite annoying as I neared the end of my 12-ish hour playthrough. I'd be willing to bet that just the text dialogue interruptions, not the narration, not the conversations I chose to have, just the interruptions after completing a task or before completing a task or turning a page, the interruptions that to me felt invasive and unnecessary, I bet that there were at least 2 hours of that, if not more, out of the total 12 that I played. But thankfully, there is a lot that the Plucky Squire gets very right, starting with the visuals. It's extremely beautiful. The storybook world and the 3D world both looking real nice and good, meticulously crafted and vibrant. It's the kind of game that's gonna look amazing 10, 15, 20 years hence because this style is timeless, and it obviously looks amazing now. The creativity in some of the game's puzzles was also very charming and fun. You'll have to swap out words and sentences of the book to overcome obstacles, turn pages to find hints hidden away in previous chapters, jump in and out of the book to find items and reach new areas, even tilt the book to move heavy objects around within its illustrations. Really cool ideas here. Had the game lightened the f up on the fighting and a larger percentage of time had been dedicated to this kind of thing, that would have tickled me pink, I say. The Plucky Squire was also very clearly made by fans of video games because hot damn are there a lot of video games in this video game. We have Pokemon, Punch-Out, Donkey Kong, Resogun, Bust-A-Move, Star Fox, and more. These are all arcadey and not very complex, but the sheer number and variety is super impressive. They break the monotony beautifully and were some of the funnest parts of the game for me. I also very much appreciated the writing. It felt like an amusingly off-kilter children's story, which, duh, that's exactly what they were going for, I know, but with humor that would make children and adults alike laugh. On the backlog difficulty scale, the Plucky Squire gets a score of Buddy. It's very kid-friendly, without any real possibility to upscale the challenge, and usually that's a problem in my opinion, but I think that the variety of the minigames, the cleverness of certain puzzles, the story, and the craft that went into making this game look and sound the way that it does, all of that combined to keep me just engaged enough for me to recommend it. But keep in mind the score ain't gonna be too high because at the end of the day, the game is only as fun as it is, and it's certainly not as fun as it is pretty. On the backlog scale, the Plucky Squire earns a score of Get in the left lane, bud, minus. And it's teetering for me on being a mid lane plus kind of game, but hey, I felt like being generous with this one, mostly because I really respect the ambition here. There are ideas in this that I think are so cool, but this first offering is not quite all that I hoped it would be when I first saw the trailers. The truth is, I was more than ready to be done with this game by the time the credits rolled. Having said that, I still had a positive experience, and as long as your expectations are set correctly, I think you will too. If you enjoyed the format, remember to like and subscribe. Also comment below which games you'd like to see us try next, and until next time,
I don't need a squire.
Of course you do.